Yeah. And move to order the meeting at 4:31. Roll call, Rubino.
Thank you. This is the Student Senate General Assembly meeting of March 7th, 2024, beginning at 4:31 PM. Now beginning roll call starting with Executive Council. This is President Giovanni Michaud.
Present.
Thank you. Vice President Administration and Finance, Kai Brito, present. Vice President Legislative Affairs, Margaret Jude.
Present.
Thank you. Vice President Team Development, Annette Crowder.
Present.
Thank you. Vice President Public Relations, Michael Malone.
Present.
Thank you. Advisor Sean Green.
Here.
Thank you. Now moving on to our Truax campus senators, Senator Angel Avia. Did you get a response from Angel? No response? Absent for now. Someone might want to touch that phone, whoever's phone that is. Senator Sierra Brunner.
Here.
There we go. Thank you. Senator T Clearwater, I saw them here earlier. Where is T now?
Not sure.
I'm gonna mark late. Senator Kodiak Kessel, we saw Kodiak earlier this morning. Where is Kodiak now?
Present.
Nothing? Oh, hey, Kodiak. I am pleasantly surprised that you are present. Senator Danny Hurd.
Present.
Thank you. Senator Kennedy Washington.
Gonna be online. I know, but
Okay.
she said she was gonna reach out to you, President Michelle, about that.
Because we're gonna have a conversation. Senator Cameron Wilkin.
Present.
Senator Katrina Willis. No Katrina?
Don't see her.
Okay. Senator Stacy Brunner.
Here.
Thank you. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We do have a majority, so the quorum is met.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
I move to approve.
The second. Motion by Zee Carter, second by Senator Hair. Any discussion? Everybody was in favor of approving the previous meeting minutes, raise your hand.
Got 2 hands up online. That's majority.
Is there, well, no, it's not.
Stacy.
For 7.
We have to count the Brunner as 2. Like that's 4 online,
So it's 7.
4.
Okay.
And is there anybody against? Yeah, is there by any abstain?
Abstain.
Okay.
Because we didn't get enough time to review these.
Yeah.
We have 2 abstain. Intended a motion to approve today's meeting agenda.
I will move to approve the agenda.
Okay, is there a second? Senator Castle, second. Any discussion? Everybody was in favor of approving today's agenda, raise your hand.
We have 2 online. And now the runners are also raising.
Yeah, that's everyone. Perfect, thank you. Public comment. Today we're gonna have JC LaGrue, Chief Information Security Officer, for 20 minutes. Gonna talk about email phishing, simulation education. The floor is yours.
Great. So a little bit of introduction for myself, Jesse LaGrue. Obviously, I work in technology services right down the hall. One thing we did that we haven't actually done before for students, we've been doing it for staff for about maybe 2 or 3 years, is we actually send out regular emails that simulate phishing. If you haven't seen it before, phishing is basically a dangerous email that's trying to get you to click on a link, reply to the email, submit sensitive information. So really it's what they call social engineering, trying to trick somebody into giving up information or data that's valuable. You can go 2 slides, please. So one thing we did do about 2 weeks ago, we actually did send out an email, not only to staff, but also to all students, all active students, which is about 35,000 individual accounts. That simulated a phishing email. The big question is, well, why did you do this? You haven't done it before. There's a few different reasons. One, really on our side, we help to support the college. We also help to support student success. For me, it's really important to not just protect students in the community, but also to educate. So a lot of individuals step through these doors physically or virtually to really learn something, maybe something specific that's going to take them forward. One item that we all have is email accounts, at least most of us. One thing we're trying to promote is good cyber hygiene. What are the things that you can do to protect yourself, even if it has nothing to do with the college? This is really one of those efforts to try and help individuals protect their own data outside of the time when they're here at the college, but when they're out in the workforce or just using email on a day-to-day basis. In addition, most of us are going to work in some kind of environment where they're likely going to do the same thing. Email phishing and social engineering, trying to trick people, happens all the time. And a lot of organizations do this regularly to their employees. They might do it once a month. They might do it once every 6 months. They might do it once a year. But it is something that most individuals will likely see somewhere else in their professional career. And so we want to make sure people can actually see that before that happens. So once again, trying to give a little bit more education in terms of what can you expect in the future. And really, we want to do the same thing we've been doing for students or for employees, which is to help educate. One of the things for us, it's important for me, we want people to take a look and maybe click on our email before they click on a different one. So we'd rather have somebody click on one of the emails that we send out, get some education in terms of what to do or maybe what not to do in the future, and then take that going forward. So really, education is a big piece of there. Next slide, please. The email looked like this. So this was actually an email that we designed based off an email employees received the very first day of classes this semester. 200 employees clicked on that email. And for all of those accounts, we had to reset them because we didn't know whether they were compromised, somebody had their passwords, but it is an exact replica of a real email that we received. So we thought it was really important to make sure others could see it because externally from the college, people are sending us these emails. This is really what it looks like. It's a real world example. Next slide, please. Really, one item is, well, what happened? So this email went out. What did individuals do? About 33,000 of the students actually did nothing. So this could be because somebody saw the email and just decided to not even click on it, not even read it. It could also be because maybe a population of students simply hadn't looked at their email account. So this was done between, yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but may I ask, how do you know, unless you're gonna answer it in a little bit, how did you know who deleted? How'd you get that number?
Great question. So the tool that we use is actually part of our Microsoft suite that we actually have for email, OneDrive, Word, all of those suites of technologies. And Microsoft is actually able to record. If somebody hits delete, we actually get that message.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Microsoft collects a lot of data. If anyone ever wants to find out more about a lot of that, always happy to speak about it. One thing I'm a big believer in is privacy. So when you see something like this, hey, how do you know what's going on in an inbox? There is a variety of data that we collect really to help support the institution. This is important to help send the story and the message. Yeah.
On that note, do you know of other programs and anyone else that is a carrier for emailing and such that does the same thing, that records things like deleted emails as well?
Yes, I would say I don't actually know of an email provider that wouldn't have that information in some way, shape, or form. Either because they have to know when you deleted a message to make sure you don't see it in your inbox. So most of that is recorded for just about every email system
Oh,
to provide you with the view that you see when you log into your inbox.
that's wonderful information. Thank you.
Yeah, even though Wolfpack Connect can actually do that, I have access to some, who here has opened up the emails from Student Senate.
Well, I know that. That's, that one I can see for every
So
place.
can I.
The junk we have in the junk mails we have in our inboxes is from where?
Those junk messages, they may be put in that folder a variety of ways. One, some people create their own email rules. I really don't like this email. It's junk. It'll automatically get filtered there. Sometimes we will actually see messages that are broad enough that we see many of them, where Microsoft will basically do their magic in the background and say, this looks a little weird. We've had other reports about it, and they may filter it to junk. So it can be usually one of those two ways. And we've actually seen valid emails get sent to junk because people can create rules. So we allow users to set their own rules for what they consider junk.
Answer your questions?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Great questions, by the way. In terms of users that deleted, we had about 1,900 delete, 284 reported. One of the big things that we are trying to do is really get that reported emails up. There's a couple of reasons behind this. If people report it, it allows our team to analyze it. It also allows Microsoft to analyze it. Whenever Microsoft gets emails, if it's flagged by a user as potential phishing or a scam or even just spam, they do a little bit more checking behind the scenes to determine, does this make sense with other data that we found? Which means that hopefully in the future, those emails will be automatically removed if they are actually dangerous or if they are junk. Reporting emails basically helps to feed the algorithm. It helps to make sure Microsoft can develop the tools to make sure people don't see these emails. And it allows us, if somebody does have a phishing email and they report it, if we do know it's phishing, we can remove it from other people's inboxes, meaning that somebody can't click on the link, they can't give away their credentials or other information. So another part is us reacting to those reports and being able to protect other users. In terms of supplied credentials, so about 1,100 people clicked on the link and about 1,700 people supplied credentials, which means they typed in a username and password. So in those cases, what this is really speaking to is 1,700 people may have had their accounts compromised, meaning somebody else could log into it. They may be able to get access to email or other systems. I'm sure everyone's aware and probably a little irritated by something called multi-factor authentication. This is one of the reasons we have it. So if somebody does supply credentials, even with that information and with the protections of multi-factor authentication, ideally they still can't get into your account. So that is one of the reasons that's in place. Outside of regulatory pieces, which we can talk about all day long, but that is one reason that technology is in place. Any questions?
What's the difference between phishing, scamming, and spam? Like, I'll make the difference.
Yep, I'd say the scamming and phishing, those are very interrelated. So phishing is just an email scam, or it's a scam over email. They also have what's called phishing with a V, which is actually doing the same thing but over the phone. Or smishing, which is doing it by text message. So all of those are social engineering scams. Those are dangerous. Spam is junk. It's not necessarily bad. It's just really annoying. Hope that helps. Yeah. Any other questions?
And then me. Some of the emails usually say like the scholarship, usually it's like a message from Madison College and stuff like that, but you can tell that it's not from Madison College, right? I get those a lot.
Yep, and we see a variety of messages.
I'm talking about my scores, my credits, or my GPA. I'm like, golly, that's confidential. So how would you know? And you can see it's very, in occurrence, so. Yeah, I think that's a junk or spam. But
And
when
report it. When you're not sure, just hit report.
that's what I did, but
Yeah.
when I saw Madison College, I open it, sometimes I
Yep.
just put it to the junk one then, yeah, and report it, so.
And if anyone ever sees an email and you're not sure whether you report it or like, what happens if I don't, and it's actually something I really needed? Let me know. I'm happy to write a letter to anyone saying they did the right thing and maybe something got delayed. I think it's an important thing to do that, and I'm here to support really anyone, even if you weren't quite sure, whether it was spam, phishing. We always recommend reporting it, including to tech services. So Outlook has a little button, makes it really easy. That's what we want people to use. But if you contact the library, the student help, they can assist with that as well. So there's a couple different ways to go about it, but it's a good point.
There's no penalty for reporting, right? You can be wrong. It's just like better safe than sorry, right?
Yes.
Cool.
And I would want to note that even if clicking on an email is not wrong, it's something that helps us learn to do something better in the future. I've clicked on phishing emails. I've downloaded malware. I've done things I know I shouldn't have. Usually after the fact than before. It's like, oh, that was a bad idea. Those things will happen, and we are here to help in those instances too. One thing we're hoping is that this will lessen the chance someone clicks. But if it does, we really are here to help in those cases. We want to build an environment that's not about blaming or shaming individuals for taking an action. It's about how do we learn together and how do we protect everyone's accounts and their information.
And how do you sure about like this is like from Madison College or this is not? Because the one you just showed, it says like Madison College and all of that. Like, how do you make the difference?
And that's a good point. So when we do take a look at that, we would ask, and maybe if you can go back a couple slides, we can take a peek. I know I want to be mindful of time. On this, what I always look for is the email address, the domain on the right-hand side. It's kind of hard to see, but it says amail.paula.or. It's not madisoncollege.edu. Usually that's one of the items we have people take a look. Is that domain, is it actually accurate? It looks a little bit more legitimate because in the beginning it says madisoncollege.edu, but it's in the wrong place. It needs to be at the end rather than at the beginning. And really, that's kind of the question we're trying to help with this campaign, is to help people better notice these kinds of emails and find out what we can do to educate. Because that hasn't been something we've been doing a lot throughout, really, I'd say ever. And we want to do more of it. So I think that's also a question I'd want to ask others of how can we better do that? Probably 4 or 5 slides from now, but that is one of those items I'm interested in, is how can we improve that education? How can we get out there and talk to more people?
Yeah, we're gonna let you finish.
2 slides. All right. And so reporting versus clicking, we have about 3,000 people. That's including the people that typed in the username and password. About 284 people reported it. We basically like to see that pie move in the other direction. We want more people reporting, less people clicking. People will always click, but once again, you get that immediate feedback. Oh, I clicked. I shouldn't have. Here's a little training video. So we try to do that really short training. Yeah.
Just real quick recommendation. It'd be nice to put the percentages on them so you can see the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for that feedback. And next slide. And you'll get that later, actually. So Clink versus supplied credentials. We've already seen this before. Let's go next. I probably should have just taken out some of these slides, but I wanted the bigger picture. So if somebody did click, they actually will get an email. It will come from our IT security inbox, which means you can reply to it. People actually ask, is this phishing too? Because people were used to seeing this, which is, valid feedback. The nice thing about these training videos, one, these are supplied by Microsoft, 2 or 3 minutes. You can easily view it, and we can also customize it. We can actually create different videos if we wanted to.
This time,
No, it's not. It's 5 minutes.
is it?
Yep, 5 minutes.
Seemed to be like
Yeah, you can keep going. Just trying to-
Okay, you have 5 minutes.
Any other questions about at least the training videos? So this is once again a start. It's a start for people that do click. They at least get a little bit of information from the training video. And there is a due date. Once again, these are optional. We don't require this of anyone, including employees. The more we can do to really put information in front of individuals is really the point. But this is all optional training to make sure people have more information. Yeah.
So, like, let's say a person clicks a hyperlink and is, put towards other like another website. Are the web browsers, are they safe from like malware, like just clicking on, or is that something we have to be conscious of, like just clicking on something can compromise your browser or your information,
All it takes is a click.
really?
And there's no one browser that's going to fix it. Even if it does today, browsers like other software get out of date. People find ways to break the security in those, which is why you probably see it a lot. Hey, please restart your browser to apply this update. It's happening all the time. So unfortunately, there's no one way outside of, unfortunately, not clicking. Yeah.
I was just wondering why the training is optional. I know I did the training, because I'm an employee of Rise, and I felt like it was valuable information, and I knew to report, a couple of emails that I saw that looked like English, or however you say that, emails. So,
Yep, it's a good question. And a lot of it comes from, if we did require it, what would we do if they didn't? And I think that's
don't let them put in your employee hours.
that's a more challenging item to actually accomplish in reality. There are situations in other organizations where they've tied it to financial incentives. So at least for employees, it's a little bit different than students. So if it's an employee, some organization has stated if you didn't do your annual security training, you can't get a raise.
Oh, so for students, it's part of getting your financial aid.
On that one, one's got a lot of laws behind it that would violate.
The training is super short. It's not even that long, but, I watched Ho-Chunk Nations, you probably heard about this, how they got, they had to redo their whole network because it became ransomed.
Oh.
You
Yep.
were working there when that happened too. That was just, or maybe you didn't know. Yeah,
Oh my God.
all of their stuff got taken down. All of the
Just had
important
that
stuff.
happen.
Yep.
Group health, you're.
Yep, I couldn't get my meds, the script had to be like hand delivered, because everything was down, they shut it all off.
My
Yeah.
gosh.
There's good reason for it.
There definitely is. There's a couple challenges how to enforce it. The other one is the more punitive we are, the less likely people want to talk to us. And really, we are trying to foster open conversations.
Yeah.
And so it's a balance. It's a challenge. And I think it's a really good point. And I think we need to continue thinking about it because the risk is real. We have real consequences.
Okay, what about, we're a student and we're a student employee. We have a student email and a student employee, like how do we, like, is it one more secure than the other?
No. There's one is not secure, more secure than the other, at least when we think about Madison College emails. Now, if you're using Gmail at home or you're using Hotmail, anything like that, those services might be a little bit different, but they have a lot of the same protections our systems do. You just don't have the benefit of full-time staff at the organization that are actually trying to keep track of it. But for student emails and employee emails at the college, we try to secure them the exact same way.
Because the VP credit mentioned, I work at Ho-Chunk, and if I want to send something, let's say I want to send like a message to my employee email, I can't. And I cannot open anything.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's why they stopped that.
And that's an item, we have the challenge at a higher education institution. Generally, things are more open, including receiving and sending information. And there are challenges in doing that because of what individuals need to share externally, because we do collaborate with a lot of institutions. But we do have groups within the college that do share or work with sensitive information on a regular basis. They might be a little bit different, but yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying, I work in sensitive information. I work in the financial aid office. So, yeah, definitely. But we have, CRM, we operate through that, and I have to code everything under financial aid. Like, I'm not authorized to use my actual name.
It's time.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today. My contact information is at the end of the presentation. Please do feel free to send that out to everyone else in attendance. And there's more statistics, including percentages.
I
So-
really appreciate the information you gave, especially the first question, the answer to the first question I asked. That's just so important, even beyond like our scope here at the school, like as individuals in our day-to-day life, because we might genuinely delete something that we might need in the future. That could be a professional career. It could be even a medical. It could be legal.
Delete emails stay in your inbox for 30 days, is that correct? Or like into your account that you can actually.
30 to 90, it
30 to
depends.
90?
But sometimes like you don't know about that stuff ahead of time.
Thank you for coming.
Or like maybe you realize the gravity of it later and it's gone.
Thank you.
Yes, be able to go to something like that. Like,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you please contact me.
Yeah, but you can send it to the article.
I did.
Thank you.
Okay, our next is VP of Academic Affairs, Goodman South Campus Manager, Tina Haida.
Welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Annette, I had sent you the
I
PowerPoint.
did.
Okay, great.
Yep, I'm pulling it up. I actually have it up already. I'm so. Bingo, there we go.
Bingo, 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 bingo.
What's up?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Why is
This
this?
thing out here,
What's the label?
What then?
This
Things
thing
like
on
that
the board,
can
the names,
Thank you, Kenny. It's you.
signs to them.
Well,
Yeah, I sent them all, Martha.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
There we go.
And again, I offer my apologies for being tardy. I was sitting at a very one.
4:58.
Yeah, 4:58. Okay, here I go, you guys. So first of all, Valentina, I know Tina's just fine. I am Vice President in Academic Affairs. I have oversight for several schools and the Goodman South campus. And that's really, I've been in campus administration from the time I started at the college, a long time ago, probably before some of you were born. So we'll just leave it at that. And so I love being close to the students in that way. And so today, I'm actually here to talk to you about two things that I really love, and that's student parents and the campus. So first of all, serving student parents, I want to provide a quick update. You probably have heard from other people on this. Dr. Ramirez, Sylvia Ramirez, she really has been the lead in some of the funding that we have to do some of this work. And then we also work in concert with Human Protective Services Dean Jessica Chochi and Donna Jost, who's the manager for the Early Learning Campus. So you will often hear from them. And so just really quickly, how we began the student parent work is that we've applied for, Dr. Ramirez applied for, along with a group of folks, wrote for a grant from the Wisconsin Economic Development Authority.
Oh.
And they gave us what's called a Wisconsin Innovation Grant, nearly $3 million, to really address an issue for our region. And that issue, there are two issues identified. One was manufacturing. How do we increase the pipeline of people who are working in our manufacturing jobs? It's a large part of our economy. And then the second, because we're coming out of, these were COVID dollars, we're just coming out of the pandemic, is childcare. How do we address the dearth of childcare? We had lost many centers, they closed. And so when centers close, that means families don't have a place to send their kids, which means if they don't have a place to send their kids, they're not able to work, right? So we lost, if you all remember, during that time, many women especially stayed home. They left the workforce because they didn't have anyone to care for their kids. And so we received this grant to help us address the pipeline. So how do we help increase the number of people, educators, early childhood educators in the field? And then how do we service those in our region with some of those opportunities to increase the pipeline. So we were able to provide scholarships. We were able to expand classes out to our Watertown campus. We had a conference, educators can get continuing education credits. So we were able to offer a conference both at South, offered it bilingually, and then also in Reedsburg, offering it bilingually. And we had the one at South sold out. I think we had over 150 people come, which for South, you guys have been there, it's a smaller place, smaller scale. And at Reedsburg, I think we had close to 80 people, which is probably everybody in Reedsburg. So. If anybody comes from Reedsburg, I hope I didn't strike a
I
chord.
will say that this is recorded.
My goodness.
It's okay. They know it. And they love it that way, probably too. So in any case, so that grant really was our launching point to be able to focus in on our students, because alongside with that, we applied for, we didn't know what we were applying for really at the time, but we were selected to participate in Generations Hope Family U program. And Family U, it's a technical assistance program. So they help us in 4 areas really be able to bolster the kinds of supports that we offer for student parents. And you guys, one of the things was there were 4 areas. So data, people, culture, and data, people, culture, and I always forget the 4th, data, people, culture, and policy. How can we forget policy? I know. So one of the first things that we had to do was to identify who our student parents were. We didn't have a mechanism to do that. We had no way of knowing other than anecdotal evidence, right? People talking to their advisors, talking to your teachers, talking to whoever about who was a student parent. We had no way to know. And so one of the very first biggest wins that we had was able to work with our technical assistance folks, Jesse's group, to develop a questionnaire that we could add to the My Madison College account. So when you come in now, you can answer a series of questions. And one of the series of questions has to do with, are you a student parent? Are you a caregiver? And so with that data, along with some other surveys that we had done, we learned that nearly 40% of our students are student parents. 40% of you guys are student parents. So when you think about then 75% of our students come to school part-time because they work, because they have families. How then do you go about creating an infrastructure, an environment where then we can support students intentionally? And so this work allowed us to finally have an informed conversation about what that means. And so participating in Family U, we go through, it's a 2-year process. And we're finishing up, we're going to graduate this year. We're kind of sad about that, but it's really forced us, they've kept us on target in terms of what we need to do to really become an institution that supports our student parents intentionally and fully. And so you've seen lots of different things, the family study pods that have come up. I think you guys had a chance to go tour those, right? There's some right outside the library. There's another one over here on the D wing. We got some out in the regions. We have a student parent support team. And then are you on that? You're not on that one, right?
No.
Okay, so they're actually working on the kinds of things, the diaper bank. We have the lactation rooms, lots of different activities, high chairs in the cafeteria, like those kinds of things to support students as they're bringing their kids in. And then, of course, the team that I'm on a net with, and who else is on there? We had 2 other people that were
Senator
Inez
Ogaga.
and
Ogaga, who are on that team providing the student voice to us as we consider a policy for children on campus. What does that mean for us? So lots of different things, lots of different initiatives going on as we try to really localize that work to us, to the college, based on that national platform and that conversation that's going on. So it's just amazing. We have gotten so good at this work that we're actually presenting at national conferences next week during spring break. We're going to go to New Orleans. I'm conference out. But our colleagues are going to go and they're going to present on the data. How was it that we went about trying to create this instrument to collect information? So you'll see that work coming and we'll come back and we will report out on that. Couple of things that were, I'll take a question, give me just 1 second.
Okay.
One of the things that has really come out of this is childcare, the need for childcare. And so will you go to the next screen, Sean? And so childcare, and not just regular childcare like we have right now, but also thinking about other models like drop-in care, like emergency care, like short-term care. You know, what does that mean for us, and how do we go about supporting that? I gotta tell you guys, we're gonna be doing this policy team, we're gonna be doing a survey. We're gonna be administering that after spring break and really encourage you, we're gonna send it to you, and that's gonna do that connection with y'all. And then really try to get your fellow students to participate, because the more that we can get the student voice, the better we're gonna be able to develop what we need to develop, right? Okay, question, and then I'll come back.
Yeah, question. You mentioned that conference in New Orleans for people that are, you're presenting on the student parent policy. Perhaps there might be a certain Senate member that's part of a student parent policy group that maybe you actually would like to fly to New Orleans during that conference and be present there. Yeah, just in case that they were interested, perhaps.
You know,
That's
that's a
all.
really great point. I don't see what your name is, I'm sorry. And you'll be vice president.
PP Burrito.
Oh, hi. So part of this family youth work that has just been so transformational for us is that they put up dollars to hire what's called a student fellow. And that student fellow is Dwayne McMillan. I don't know if you all know him. I don't know if you can really get through this college without knowing him because he's everywhere. So it was really unique because he presents a father's perspective, right? And you all, when you think about student parents, probably fathers isn't the first thing that comes to your mind, and yet he brings that perspective forward. And so that's why we love them, because they're just trying really hard to get to the core of what it is that we need to do. So having said that, I don't know how much time I have left. I'm gonna try to talk really fast, Margaret.
We can extend.
You don't,
Yeah.
Wait a minute, it's like 10:31 or 10:30.
okay, so I've got like 4 minutes? Okay, I'll go through it.
No, you have,
Okay,
You have
20?
yeah, it's, the 10 is gone, but you have 10 more minutes.
Oh, got it, okay. So of all the work that we've done, then it really does come back to childcare. How are we able to provide the services that students need? So the first, so 2 projects have come out of this. Well, three, but I'm gonna talk to you about 2. So one is that you know that we rebuilt the early learning campus. It used to be over where the vet tech program is. There used to be, you probably see the playground out there still. That area over there used to be the childcare center. We moved it, this used to be the Penske building, the truck building. Some of you have been here long enough, Sean, to remember what the Penske truck building looked like. It was a truck,
That wasn't back there in that area.
but it was a building for trucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so gone, and they built this new building instead. And right now, half of it is full, the half that faces us, with the brown brick, that part right now is full, for early learning campus. Right now, we've got 4 classrooms. We can serve up to 50 children. We've got 100 on the wait list at Truex. So the capacity is just not there to service the need. And so we're gonna be doing an expansion. It's gonna start this summer. And what we're gonna do is double the number of rooms. So we're gonna add 3 more classrooms, including another infant room. And then we're gonna improve facilities. I know it's a new building, but we're gonna improve facilities. So we're gonna have a lactation room. We're gonna have a student parent lounge. So, student parents can just come and, be with their kids and not worry about driving anybody else or themselves, crazy, because, if you had your kids with you, sometimes they have their own mind, they have their own preference, what they're gonna do. So just a way to keep it contained. We're also gonna have an improved kitchen because the kitchen wasn't sufficiently big to do what they needed to do over there. And then we're also going to provide an opportunity for our early childhood education students to do more of their internship and practicum work at the center, which is awesome because that's what's gonna keep us on track for our next goal. And that next goal, if you flip the screen, Sean, is gonna be to have a childcare center at Goodman South. When we built South, we opened it in 2019. It's our newest campus. We did that through private fundraising. Typically at the college, because we're a public institution, when you want to put up a new building, you have to go through what's called a referendum. So we've got to go and get permission of the voters, just like how you guys do as students when you want to do something different, you got to go get their permission. We had to do the same thing. The problem is that for us, we're over 12 counties. So we've got to go to all the voters in all 12 counties to say, hey, can we put up a new campus in Madison, Wisconsin, in this very small area that doesn't cover all of the counties, right? So we knew that was going to be a problem. We had just come off the 2010 referendum that rebuilt, added new buildings here at Truax. This was totally changed. So timing wasn't good. So we fundraised to put up the new campus. And then we had always intended to put up childcare. We ran out of space and we ran out of money. So we had to wait. This work revitalized that commitment to address that need. South Madison, it's a high opportunity area. For those of you who have been there or you're familiar with that place in the city and where we sit, it is a childcare desert, particularly for infant care, which is the most expensive care. And like expensive meaning like it probably costs you more to put your child in infant care than it does to pay for college, like that kind of money more. It's super expensive. And it's just not available in that area. So this design is, it's worked out over 2 phases. The first phase, and Sean has this, you guys can look at this later on. We would be, the first phase would be 2 floors. The second floor would be a shell. It would be an unfinished second floor because we would not have enough money to finish it. That's probably what we're thinking. And really focusing then on the first floor, and we would have sufficient classrooms to serve about 50 students, about what our capacity is right now at Truax. It would also include things like a gym and the kitchen and workrooms and lactation rooms, all those things that would support being able to care for children. In the back, I don't know if you can see so this is facing Badger Street, which is the front of the building. And the black fencing around the right and to the back, that's the background, that's the parking lot. That's where all the playgrounds would be. So being able to have a space for the kids to play is really important. And where this is located, if I want to just point, so this is Badger and this is Park. So this is belt lines up here, right? This is Perry Street. So what's there now? Do you guys know? Those of you who are out there? A fire station.
Oh.
Are they moving that?
Is it touch screen?
Are they moving the fire station?
It's touch screen.
The fire station.
I don't think so.
It's down.
Station's been demolished.
So they're moving.
It's like a time, I think it's on time.
Oh, the fire station is moving.
I don't know. I'm.
It's you.
Just ended, like.
It's you. You're shaking everywhere.
Go on.
The fire station, and this is public now, so I can share this with you. The fire station is right here in this
Okay.
corner. The city allowed us to purchase it for $1.
What? That's good.
It's called an intergovernmental transfer, is what it's called. That's the legit, that's a legitimate name. But in any case,
$1, $1.
$1. I don't even know who paid for it, but it's $1. So the plan is to demolish, we have to go through an approval process with the city. We're in that right now. We're in design stage. That's why that status says in design up there. So that's how it would sit according to where the campus is now. And demolition of the firehouse would start this summer. Phase 1 creates the standalone center with the second floor that's unfinished. Phase 2 would connect the building, which would allow us, for those of you who've been to South, you already know, we're a little tight on space. Okay, so I'm thinking about
Yes.
the RISE building, the RISE office, I'm thinking about the library, I'm thinking about the STEM center, I'm thinking about that we don't have a, what's it called, the place where you go work out, fitness center, right? So those kinds of things we don't have yet. Putting in that expansion, which would be phase 2, would allow us to address some of those needs. Phase one, I remember the dollar amount, I think we're gonna need something like, $17 million to do. And phase two, I think it's 20. No, phase one is, I don't even know how phase one is. That's about $17 million, $18 million to do phase one. An additional almost 14 million to do phase two. So what is that? What's 18 plus 4?
32 million.
Oh, 22.
I bet it's
22.
sorry.
Yeah, so like 18 and a half. So, which we have doing all the math, it's a lot of money, right?
33.
Okay, but that's what phase two would allow, and so, we'll see how much money we can raise, right? We have not started the public fundraising campaign. That's gonna be coming probably by the time spring breaks rolls around. We're almost there. We just gotta get a couple more things built. So we've already secured some leading gifts. So we've been very fortunate to work with supporters. But being able to create this, one of the, a source of funding that we choose is to help students pay for childcare is called a C Campus grant. Children, C Campus will help me out in it.
Wait a second, I make a
Children
motion to
in
extend the time.
college.
Oh, sorry, we have to interrupt really quickly.
All right, I make a motion to extend the time by 10 minutes.
I
I'll
second
second
it.
that. Oh, damn. Awesome.
Okay, any discussion? Everybody was in favor of extending the time for 10 minutes, raise your hand. Yeah, that's.
We need one person online to say yes.
That's
all you need.
Okay, motion passed. The time go from,
5:28, 5:28.
yeah, from 5:28.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Oh, no, I forgot what I was talking about. C Campus.
C Campus.
C Campus is a federal grant that we've received a couple times. This is our second year in. It's a 4-year grant. Helps provide scholarships to students, pay for childcare. Like I indicated to you, it's just really expensive. And I can't remember what it stands for, but something like childcare means parents are in college or something. Parents in class, something like parents in school. Childcare means parents in school. I think that's what it means.
Secret.
Yeah, so C Campus, so what we're hoping to do is to be able to leverage those dollars and a couple of other resources to be able to adopt drop-in care and expand care for evening classes and on Saturday, because right now we only do childcare from 7:30, 7:45 until 4:30 in the evening, in the afternoon. Well, if you're an evening student or you're taking classes on the weekend, and again, 75% of our students come part-time, many of them are working and trying to balance family. How then do we create that environment for them to be successful? And so those are going to be some of the strategies that we're going to be looking at. This new space would allow us to do that kind of work. So we'll be demolishing this summer, and then we're hoping that we'll get phase one done and be ready to go by summer of 25. It's going to take us a year to build out, right? So we'd be ready to go by fall of 25, 26. So start this summer, build, and then next August, fall of 25, 26, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm like, yeah, from a year. So in any case, I will share with you, since you're on Student Senate, and I know that you have an interest in government, part of our approval process is to go through the Urban Design Committee from the City of Madison. They're the ones who told us we had to put up a second floor. We're going before them March 27th. And as a requirement for that, we have to have a neighborhood meeting. So we've got to go and talk with the neighbors who are going to be impacted by the building of this childcare center. And that meeting is going to be March 25th. It's a Monday at 6 o'clock at Goodman South in rooms 205, 207. So if you at all have an interest for whatever reason, if it's to hear the questions that the neighbors might have, Our Alder is going to be there, our architect firm, Dr. Daniels will be there, myself. I encourage you to come and just experience it, listen in. If you have questions, of course, raise them. So that's gonna be another step in the process. And then we've got a couple other approvals that we need to move through, but that gets us in a good place. Now we just gotta raise the money. So, I think that's it. I think that's what I wanted to share with you guys, and I'll take questions from you. You did a great job asking in between. So, go ahead.
Just to emphasize, you had a wait list full of 100 people, but that's because you closed it off at 100 people, and you actually could have more if you wanted to have a longer wait list, correct? Yeah, that's what the reality of the childcare is out there. Not that you don't already know, but.
Maybe Joe.
So the question I have is, if you have 450 people on the waiting list,
No,
how much?
100 people.
Huh?
100 people. on the wait
100,
list
okay,
Here at Truax.
I'm here. How about over there?
We don't know yet because we haven't started.
Or,
Yeah.
but, people here can only be here, they cannot.
No, we used to have 2 centers before, remember, a long time ago, when we had the downtown campus. That was the first place that we had childcare. And so at some point we had childcare at downtown and we had it at Truax. And when a spot opened up, the choice was made, the decision, that the student had to make the decision if the spot opened up downtown or at Truax, you had to take that decision.
Choice,
either
yeah.
Or not, yeah.
But right now, it's not like that.
Just Truax, because only Truax is available.
Oh,
The
okay.
Downtown campus closed.
Yeah, we
Mhm.
closed downtown.
Halfway torn up.
I know, I used to go to downtown a long time ago.
That's where I started, downtown.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Phoebe Carter.
So, I just wanted to ask you to highlight on the regional plans that
Oh, thank
are
you.
in place or coming about, like.
Yeah, so thanks for that. So part of this WIG, the Wisconsin Innovation Grant money, was to leverage what was gonna be available for our regional campuses. We knew that we could not build a childcare center at each location. And so working really hard to leverage our partnerships. And we've got a really nice template in place at Watertown. Watertown has, the Watertown Wellness Foundation. I know I'm gonna get the name wrong, but it's a series of partners that have come together to increase making Watertown a thriving place to be. And the Y is there. And so we've come and partnered with the Y to offer opportunities for students to place their kids. We purchased slots with them to allow students to utilize those services for care. Now, we're using C Campus dollars for that, and they have some requirements, so we're working with the Y as a partner to make sure that they're fully able to provide care under those requirements. But it is a partnership that's not unique. That's been replicated in other community colleges. They know that it works, especially because they've got the training and the facilities, if you think about the Y here, to do that. So that is one strategy that we're using. We've also installed family study rooms at the different campuses, so they're able to, students are able to come in with their kids and study on campus with those kids. We also piloted drop-in care last fall for finals. Were you part of that, Annette?
I wasn't part of it, but
Okay.
I was directing.
You were, yeah, and that was used. I mean, we heard from students say, oh my gosh, my childcare canceled, in particular one student, she was so grateful. Her childcare canceled like that day, and she had a test, a presentation she had to give. And she found out that we were doing drop-in cares, and that's what allowed her to go to class and complete the requirements for her course, so she did really well. But being able to do that kind of thing in the regionals is gonna be important for us to be able to meet that need. And so that's another strategy. And the third is, of course, to increase the pipeline, the number of providers in those areas. That's why that work that we're doing to increase the number of educators in those areas will benefit our students. So those are the kinds of things that we're engaging in with the regionals. And even here, you guys, and maybe you knew this, but we were giving away Y memberships when we did the student parent night.
Oh,
We
wow.
did those for
Really?
student parents because they have the childcare watch as part of their services that they offer. And I think we had like 50 that we gave away.
Wow, that's good. That's pretty cool. I want one too.
Go ask.
I want one.
Kids too?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I have a question. My question is, when you say you have 100 people, like 100, like
Children on the wait
children,
list.
100 children.
Mhm.
That's the max you can get like to be on the list, or is just like
It's just what we have right now. Yeah.
just what?
It'll change as we're able to move kids and kids fall off the list, right? Because parents will find other options for them. That's
Okay,
just what we have.
Yeah.
So it's not like the max. It's not like 100 people we cut you off. No, that's just what we've got
okay, now,
this time.
how you know you did the distribution? Let's say, someone is like, you open 5 days. Let's say you open.
Right
5
now,
days.
we're open for 5 days.
You open 5 days.
Oh, nice.
And someone have days off on the weekdays, like they don't need a childcare for 2 days and need the weekdays. Do you count days, like this person who just used the facility for three days?
So Giovanni, I'm going to answer what I know. It's probably not gonna be the fully correct answer, so I just want to note that. When you come, and this is true for any childcare center, because there are licensing requirements, the people who give us the license to be able to provide this care, they say you can only have so many children with so many adults at any given time. It's a ratio. And anytime you fall out of that ratio, you're fined. You could be fined. So you could be penalized for not having that. Okay, well, if you're a center and because you get funded by the number of kids that you bring in, right, you're gonna want to try to maximize the amount of time that those kids are there. If you're gonna make your funding model work. We are super lucky. The students who get care here, we are subsidized by the college. And so what that means is we're not as locked in. You still have to sign a contract with us, right? And you're gonna say, I need care Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all day here, or I'm coming in the mornings, Tuesday, Thursday, from here to here. My kid is in 4K, so, they'll go to school in the morning, but then I need care in the afternoon. So we'll have a contract for you and you abide by that contract, okay? But it's significantly more flexible than if you were going to a center somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's because we have the privilege, we're subsidized to be able to allow that flexibility for our students.
Okay, thank you. I think the time is done. Do you have any question? Last question?
That's a good question.
Are you finished with your presentation?
Yeah, I think I'm
Okay.
done. Is there anything more, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and you guys, it's great work. One of the things, maybe you can take this off the record.
It's still recording, by the way.
No, I understand.
Okay.
They can record. But one of the questions we're gonna ask, different models, Giovanni, to your point, about how do you fund this care? There are some colleges that the students tax themselves. So they pay a student fee to help pay for childcare for their fellow students. UW-Madison is one of those.
Interesting.
And so I'm just,
2 requests. Can you send us that information? And 2, have you seen our position paper? Did you send that? Did Annette send
yeah,
to you?
that was awesome.
Yep, and we even include childcare deserts. So
Yes.
it's like, boom.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we used that for one of our presentations we were doing somewhere else. Some of the information you guys had given us. on
Really?
that, yes.
Okay, this makes. You're fine.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely.
Report from officer, advisor, and standing committee, executive council, principal report. As I promised, one of my campaign promises was to visit all the regional campuses. I did that yesterday. I'm done.
Good job.
Yesterday I met with, some student at Fort Atkinson. I didn't meet anybody at Watertown because, was not that busy. But yesterday I talked to 7 students at, Fort Atkinson. I hope we're gonna still like get a, application from one of them. The other thing is like the election, like, we need to be more focused, like tomorrow is the last day to submit application, but it's not gonna be, it's not done. We're done until the election, and then we get people to be on Senate for next year. The other thing I wanna talk about is I have to call on some people. I was like, we have to do a better job on promoting. If we ask students to promote to, and when we get you, we cannot get promotional material, that's not good. Like, last, Thursday, on Wednesday, yesterday, I was here to look for promotion material. I couldn't, the recorder didn't have enough promotional material as well. I think that's something we need to work on, and congratulate, or thank you everybody who was able to table it, for the week or the week prior. We will talk, we have this in here. In the executive council, we're still talking about the town hall. We don't make a decision yet, but yeah, you got it.
So I did get the date locked down, for March 27th from 1 to 3.
Nice,
At the Intercultural Center here at Truex.
perfect.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
that'll be a combination event. It'll be an open mic event, like on the inside is what I'm picturing. I think Senna is gonna provide some sort of food or hors d'oeuvres. And then I'm thinking on the outside of the Intercultural Center, we can have our different boards. Basically asking people to fill in or handing people sheets of paper, however we decide to move forward with it. But it is secured and locked down.
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. That's conclude my report. Any question? Okay, Administration and Finance Committee, Roberto?
Thank you. In the actual finance committee meeting that I run, well, wasn't too many club approvals. So it's really just getting Skills USA and BPA really just paid off. Again, La Raza, folks, their club did a really great job submitting all those budget projections. So they're approved for about $4,200, and I don't think they're gonna spend that much even. And there's still club funding available for people that need to take spring trips. So that's all still available for certain groups. Every club has up to $5,000, they can make a request to use up to to be supplied through the club funding funds. So there's that. Otherwise, yes, question.
So with the club funding for groups, are they able to use it for a trip at the beginning of summer?
Yes, they can, because that's part of the academic. No, I'm sorry, wait. I think they can because Geology Club did that. So I think this summer count, even though it's like part of the academic, no, yeah, it's part of the academic term for this current term. So yeah, the fall begins the new school year.
Okay.
So yes, you can use it for the summer, but you have to keep in accordance with your club funding max request of $5,000. And obviously it needs to be approved by the finance committee. But I do believe that there's a date on by the time which we do that for the summer, because things shut down for the summer. So if you're gonna do it in the summer, you have to get it approved in the spring, I believe. And there's a whole 4-week period of time before you submit that to. So I think that the last date to approve it would probably be like that finals week. So right before May, that last week of April, I'm assuming would be the last, like April 29th, I think would be like, I have set a deadline. That probably would be the deadline. If not, if you're lucky, then maybe it's May 6th. But I would put April 29th down the other deadline.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Other things that we did, VP Crowder and I did a presentation to the Student Activities Board. It was really well received. Perhaps our president Michaud can agree with us. Or Advisor Green, who's there too. We, talked about a t-shirt cannon, a fog machine, and a rage room. But other than that, I mean, our budget was, pretty well explained. People didn't seem to have questions over that. The only thing people thought was, dang, aren't you guys doing too much? Your plan seems to have a lot of things in it. Advisor Green did send me a previous plan that said it had, written out, and there were actually 8 items and goals that they wanted to achieve, and they did a lot back then. So, really, we're not that far off of what it used to be, and I think we can continue to do bigger, better, and greater things, because that's what Senate does. So that's the end of my report. Are there any questions?
Yeah,
No. Okay.
thank you. This is it, the committee with Joe.
Thanks very much.
Just like class.
Yeah,
right?
class. Yeah.
Advisor Green, do you have the report from Juve?
I did not receive one. Unless it was in my email, which I'm checking now and I do not see anything, so no.
And the development committee recorder.
Sure. So team development, we met very briefly because I was, duly busy.
It's fun.
But pretty much, we went over the script that we got from Sean and decided that we could definitely use that. Otherwise, what else did we talk about? It was a really brief meeting. Help me out here, Danny.
After today, after this meeting, we're
Yes.
having their own thing.
We're hoping to do, the mock, parliamentary procedure meeting after this meeting. So we're hoping some people will stick around for it. It won't count as office hours for you. And that's the end of my report.
Do you want to open the Dutch Bowl competition?
Put it out.
My bad. How can I keep forgetting
Promote it.
about getting hit by balls? So anyways, if there is anyone interested in being in the Student Senate dodgeball team, please raise your hand.
Can't, I'm a wood tick. They keep saying they don't want to go with it, but I'm gonna insist on it. NASA's on it, and I'm one of our 2 main pillars. I just stay.
Nobody interested?
Need 8 people per team.
8 people?
8 people for the team because there's gonna be,
It's not full.
There's 3. And up to 5.
I said like
it might be like up
3
to
or
5.
4 or
Yeah.
something.
Can you check the email?
Yeah, no, she's right, it's up to 4, per team, because you're gonna switch in and out.
Oh, that's only up to 4? Up to 5.
Well, I think you can
Yeah, like
have
2
more
reserves.
people.
I
Yeah.
think it's
That's how you
8
get it
team.
on
They
it.
want an 8 team.
That's what I.
Yeah, 4 people can go in at a time, and then your other 4 people are gonna be out there, so once, like, let's say you 4 are on a team, as soon as you get hit out, you're gonna go out, next person in line can
Okay.
come in and take your.
That's what, okay, that makes sense.
Nobody?
No, we're right.
Again, I'm open.
I have a-
You can put me down. I'm interested.
Okay.
I'll see you there.
Who else? Nobody?
Kodiak?
What date is it again?
The
It is on the 19th at 2 p.m.
Is it a Monday?
Tuesday,
Mm,
if I recall.
That is a Tuesday, yes.
And I will confirm that Kai is also playing.
But I think I'm gonna be.
On BPA, yeah.
It's also conflicting with the spring market too.
Sarah Kessel has it.
Senator Castle.
Do I get to throw something at Kai?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you do.
Okay,
Are
what
you
time is it?
interested?
2 o'clock,
2 p.m.
Someone send me a reminder email and I'll make it.
yeah.
Yeah,
GT
we have
Crawford's right
2
now.
people. We have 2 people. 2 more. If anybody is interested.
Sean, you want to be the captain?
Sure.
Me.
We got 3.
Oh, come on, that's my job.
Oh,
You can fight him for it.
vice captain?
I don't know. I never played before. I just want to play it.
Oh, you never played?
No.
It's good, but you'll quickly learn whether or not your bad
Eat
skills.
my own blood.
And we're gonna have multiple games going on at the same time, so.
Huh?
There's gonna be multiple games going on at the same time.
Is it the same time they're gonna do the peer health?
The spring market, I believe, will be going on. I don't know about the pure health, but we need 5 people and $10 is the cost. And a team name.
5 people?
Mhm. 5 players max per team at the beginning of play. 3 players per team will start on the court. When a team catches their first ball, I'll email this out to everybody.
Okay.
I'll pay the $10 if you guys, put the team together.
Yeah, we need it. Oh, what about you?
Maybe if there's a time.
I'm gonna have to tell NASA that we're getting competitive now.
Oh, you already?
Yes, NASA signed up. We
Okay.
did.
Malone is on the MAD accountants.
Yeah,
Bryce has a
I'm on
team in
DPA
there.
team.
Yeah.
Rise to the Top has another team.
The student life has a team.
Hit Me If You K.
Yeah. Coaches, remember?
Jimmy's on that. Oh my God.
Yeah, the whoever gets the
Points of
gets
order.
the okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Public Relation Committee, Malone.
The only things I have in my report, I've been aggressively posting on the Wolfpack Connect about the student senate elections, making sure that anybody who wants to apply is applying, as we are getting down towards the deadline tomorrow at 11:59 PM. And then there was also a tabling sign up sent out for the week of March 18th for anybody who would like to table to continue to promote the elections. End of report.
Thank you. Advisor report, Advisor Green.
Nothing, yeah, thank you, everyone, who's been helping with the extension. I think we probably have listed on your, Senate election update, I would assume. No, we do not. So I will give you the current numbers that we have. I can say that it appears that the two in-person, I don't think anyone's been done tabling. I think it's more about a lot of in-person, like interactions.
Yeah.
And so in that, and posting with the Tech Connect and stuff that Kai did, sending out, and anything that anyone else has done, we've received, 3 additional, applications. Within, Wednesday, we only had 1. Now we've got 4 total so far for this week. And, we're still, looking, to see how far we can go and how much we can push it. So, everyone needs to, really, just keep promoting and really trying to, emphasize on the importance of it. Other than that, good luck everyone, and, enjoy your spring break, I guess.
Can you give us like the breakdown?
Breakdown?
Incident?
Yeah, I can do that, quick. So the breakdown is for president, we have 4 applicants for president. For VP of Admin and Finance, 1 person is not eligible, so it is just 1 so far for VP of Administrative Finance. For VP of LA, we have 3 individuals for VP of LA. VP of Public Relations, VPPR, we have 1 individual for that. VP of Team Development, we have so far 2 individuals for that. Moving on to the General Senate seats, we have 12 people for that. Hopefully everyone's starting to get the gist here that nothing is set in stone so far. Everyone's gonna have to fight for it, right? We go Goodman South. You would think that was only one student for 1 seat. Nope, we just got 2nd application for that, so it's 2 Goodman South people for that. Then let's just move down to the one that we do know that we have so far for the other regionals. We have for Reedsburg, we have 1 applicant for that. Then moving on to Fort Atkinson, we do not currently have anyone. Portage, we do not currently have anyone. Watertown, we do not currently have anyone. And so, as you can see, that's kind of where we're hoping that we want the best. We want to really move out the rest of this week with the best results, please get one person from each of those campuses. I mean, that would be some super duper stuff right there. But as it stands, this is great. This is great so far. So yeah, please post if you can post on Wolfpack Connect. It is getting viewed. I mean, again, what Kai did last night, it is getting views. It's getting actual. It was a great piece, by the way, too. Had good advertisements, good really shines in a good light. Keep posting, Malone, do 3 times tomorrow.
Yep.
That will be a good wide hit. Reed Crowder, keep doing what you do best. And I mean, you do it well. You just get all up in there and I love it. You literally network throughout the tunnel. I mean, it's great. Please, everybody else, do what you can. Let's really rock this to the last bit and use this extension for everything it was worth, right? But besides that, yeah, that will be my report. And yeah, happy spring break.
Thank you. Report from official and select committee, soon after the board of Brito.
Perfect timing. I kind of already prefaced that in the finance committee because the two committees are very interrelated. So perhaps I should have saved this for that. But upcoming is PTK and performing arts leadership. So they'll be doing their SAB budget presentations. Haven't received their 3-year plans yet. The interesting thing from athletics is that they want to increase their budget by $37,500. That's mostly from intramurals. But one of the things I didn't ask during the questioning period is that most of their intramurals are sports-based, but they actually didn't have any esports-based ones, even though there was actually interest in their survey. So that's a question I forgot to ask. So shame on me for not being as thorough as I normally am, because we didn't finish our presentation until 15 minutes before the actual time. But it was very well done, so it's okay. Otherwise, yeah, that's the kind of thing. Generally, every single organization has been increasing their budget except for PTK. I had the luxury of looking at their 3-year plan ahead of time, so I was able to see that. But yeah, the big one is that ELT is increasing their travel funding for student clubs from $40,000 to $55,000. We just need to see if it gets approved. But from all the budget requests that have gone through, along with the funding reserved for the new position, I'm not sure how it's going to shake up because I think where we're at, we're really getting close to the budget increase. So I don't know what it's going to be. I know volunteer center might get thrown back because of the requests they're making. So I don't know if you knew this, but there's a compensation study that was done that student activity, like vice presidents, we actually are hitting a cap of $1,000. We can't make more than that for the position that we have. And certain positions can only be hourly. So you can't make every single position hourly. So we'll see how that goes through. I'm not going to oppose it because if they can get it, I don't need to throw back on volunteer center for doing that. Because if they get it, then it's okay. But they might get told by Ellie/Usman that they can't. They're not allowed for those of me. That's over there. Okay, they might get told by Kelly/Usman that they're not allowed to make that request. So we'll see. I haven't heard anything from Alex or Scarlett yet, but perhaps they're keeping that in their own volunteer center inner circle. So that's all I got for you. Any questions about the politics of SAB?
Thank you. Thank you for the movie committee.
A report.
This one?
It's nice.
Very well, thank you. Regional outreach and engagement committee, Malone.
No report. Our next meeting is tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Thank you. Transportation analysis committee currently vacant. Student parent support group is required.
I am going to say that our report was given earlier when Tina presented. And she covered everything and, made sure she touched on original, so no report for team, parent policy committee.
However, question. Oh, wait, you go first, actually.
I was just gonna say, this is slightly out of order. We need to get an email out to all of the different committees that we no longer have people serving on them. Because they're still being counted. And I'll cover that more when we get to DCRC.
Okay. The question for you is, do you think that there actually a possibility for you to go to that New Orleans trip? Because, if there's funding available, then.
Take it, you deserve
You
it.
want to go?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
We don't want to go to Norway.
You guys could send something saying we support you on
Yeah.
that, like the executive council / and or Giovanni /
Oh.
So, don't
Official
make it
business.
like that. That's my question. I was really
Public Safety Advisory Committee, Senate Council.
Since the last meeting, there is no report. Our next meeting is tomorrow.
Thank you.
Question. It's a moment for me to tell Koyak that we did have discussions about the public safety training. You should talk to Sean, about, we should get, information about what that public safety training would include. That's a discussion that me and Advisor Green had earlier today. So just getting the details on that and then, figuring out when to put it in, because the 25th is not looking like a good day. And I don't know if it's possible for him to pick a different day, so.
18th.
The 18th, yeah, is it possible to do the 18th? There's something to consider that you two can figure it out, kick it back, and we can also talk more about it later, just letting you know.
Copy that. I'll start an email chain with the two of you and Flan.
Perfect.
Yep, and then
Take
the
care.
only other thing to piggyback off of your point was the only concern I got from Flan was how much time we were gonna have allocated for it, because I don't know, depending on what trainings he wants to cover, how much time each is gonna take, and he threw the option of if we'd have to throw like a weekend to like finish it if we don't have like enough time within Senate to do it. So there's still stuff to be discussed.
I see.
Yep.
Thank you.
One more question.
Oh,
We're chatting.
I just wanted to check on the status of the listening sessions, for public safety.
Yeah, absolutely. We are currently waiting on some results from a survey that was sent out. As soon as we get those and are able to digest them with public safety, we'll be able to format the listening sessions and get those rolled out. So we don't have firm dates or times for those right now. But as soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.
And those are to be at the regional campuses, right? Is that what I remember correctly?
There will be some at the regional campuses, but in order to just get a feel for how we're gonna do this, we're gonna start here at Truax.
Okay, when you guys decide on the dates, I wonder if there's some way that we might, Student Senate as a whole might be able to piggyback if it's one of their regional campuses that we have not done something with. So I wanted to mention is, you know, some possible collaboration between public safety and Student Senate to work together and to cover your task as well as potentially cover ours of just getting more student concerns and voices heard. Thank you.
That sounds like a wonderful idea, Annette. Thank you for bringing that up.
okay, nobody, no question, no other question? No, thank you. Inclusion and belonging coordinators on the Clearwater.
Yeah, my Senate presentation introducing the IBC position was sent out to some of the instructors I have now had in the past and generally communicate with. I reached out to VP Crowder about alternating weeks with team development and inclusion and belonging meetings. In case you didn't get it.
I did see it.
Valid.
I was gonna talk to you first, I'm sorry.
You're good. I met with the tribal liaison yesterday on 3/6 and discussed IBC needs, goals, furthering school connections and partnerships with tribal nations and their institutions, and more tribal-based work over the long term. We discussed the importance of Native Indigenous representation on the Student Senate. We communicated about consortium agreements with tribal colleges for alternative pathways, which that conversation looked like. We talked about first steps, identifying strategy. Michaela and Dr. Grady with Dr. Daniels today. I'm sorry, I realized that I missed a word. They went to go meet with Dr. Grady today, or Dr. Daniels today, and Michaela will be addressing some of the goals we set out to reach. We discussed needing to identify bureaucracy pathways we need to take for our goals, such as approaching Dr. Grady further, and what on the student leadership side I need to take. After that, we are to approach administration first or further to gain support from instructors. Do we need to have any specific departments brought into the conversation? Then we discussed student leadership and or staff education on important terminology and cultural contexts to be understood about tribal nations, as well as establishing the definitive language in the school acknowledging tribal nations as nations. Michaela and I both had wanted to create general overview Blackboard little modules, as it were, and talked about putting together our efforts to create this resource. We discussed her lobbying for mandating the training for staff at every level, and if we can introduce this as a portion of tribal certificates at the school, similar to what UW-Madison has. We talked about meeting further with the XR team to further my idea of working with the XR team and any Wisconsin tribal nations that we have created an agreement with. Michaela stresses that with the nations, we want to meet with them as soon as possible to propose this to them. I proposed to Michaela that we bring a demonstration to the nations as we approach them with our proposal. She agreed this to be beneficial. The start of what we would like to launch in joint work with tribal nations is, in fact, to work with any and all needed tribal institutions within the tribes, not to just create consortium agreements to bring Indigenous languages to Madison College as an alternative language pathway to satisfy program requirements, but to also craft vital recreations of important places and nations such as landmarks and cultural museums. Reminders, the Bad River documentary and the Madison Powwow volunteer sheet is now available. The IBC reports have been uploaded to the SharePoint. Pathway is set at Common Docs, diversity, equity, which is actually, I'm just realizing because we moved it today, this is all out of date and I have to update my report anyway, so that will be scratched. That ends my report.
Thank you. Mr. Carter?
First of all, I wanted to commend you on all the work that you're doing on Indigenous initiatives. I greatly appreciate it. It's amazing. I also wanted to ask if you've had a chance to possibly talk to anyone within La Raza, just because they're one of the largest identity-based groups on campus, to make some connections with them or with ASA.
So at this time, I was just focusing on getting that one kind of, that was on the board. Additionally, yes, to meet with them to talk about their general, what it is they seek to have on their representation with the school. Also, I've been trying since I was the racial equity coordinator, racial equity chairperson. Unfortunately, I've just not had a great response back from ASA, similar to BSU. With La Raza, yes, I've been in relative contact with them on a regular basis. I'm not a friendly acquaintance to Louise, the former president. So I would say that their communication channel with me is open, and it has been. So when it comes to their needs, I'm constantly asking for it, but they're big. They have a lot of support on their own to stand on their own legs. So that is nice. But with us ramping up, I should say, into becoming an HSI, finding more ways to continually support them is certainly something that needs to occur. And that can certainly go on my board to talk to them about the certain specific things we talked about, like language translations available like in person in the moment for certain classrooms. Really talking to them about that, which I've seen like tour guides, and I've already seen teachers' aides in the school that are specific to ESL for English second language learners for the Latino community. So that's good.
The reason why I was bringing it up specifically is because I serve as a writing fellow for a teacher, and one of the students there, my job is to like kind of talk to them, help them with writing, of course, but to kind of be an extra set of ears. And their spoken English needs assistance, but their interpretation, their writing, all of it is just beautiful, but they don't feel like they have a community. And I'm not sure how we get that across to the different students. And so I did inform them about La Raza and about a week or so ago, and they didn't follow up on it, but I still followed up with them today. And then I tracked down La Raza today and got them added to the group, even though.
Nice.
But so I just wanted to make sure we remembered to touch with the different groups. And then as far as ASA, I saw Shen last week. He was one of our former senators. I did bring up the elections at least to ASA. But they are meeting every other Friday from 6 to 7. So they just met this past Friday, and I can look for the date, but I think Shen would be the person if you wanted to send them a message to ask for some data, because they do like a PowerPoint at each of their meetings. And then they like, do areas of concern kind of, but in a fun way, and they do games. But I think you could at least collect some information from them if
Yeah.
you send a request to Shannon.
Yeah, then thank you for the information. That's wonderful.
And the BSU, just hit me up.
Yeah, and now that I can, yeah, that I have these connections that I didn't have prior
Yeah.
from this community time body.
You could also reach out to Angela or Asia too, from ASA, so they're the
I-
advisors.
I was gonna say, I don't know who either of those people are.
Angela Yang or Asia Chong, so.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember the names.
He's just in the
Okay,
current
thank you, I think that's the time.
Sorry.
For the regional and metro campuses, Reedsburg, Senator Stacy Brunner.
No report.
Thank you. Watertown currently vacant, Portage currently vacant, Black Consent currently vacant, Woodland South currently vacant. Report from College Assembly and State Government Council, College Assembly Senator Hamm.
No report.
Thank you. Academic Council currently vacant.
I just wanted to mention something about college assembly on the meeting, or I'll mention it under.
I think what you're talking about.
Okay, sorry.
Academic Council currently vacant, Diversity and Community Relationship Council required.
Okay, so we had a very unique meeting at DCRC. We got to hear about what happened at college assembly. And I'm just supposed to make sure I pass on to our Senate committee that we need to make sure we have someone at the next meeting. I know that the meeting came out last minute, that it was optional. But Ellie and Demeyer Grady and some other folks basically stopped them from trying to make decisions on shared governance.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to make decisions on shared governance that would impact student senate. They were actually even talking about, they were talking about possibly having a faculty student senate, a faculty senate, an administration senate. And we made sure to let them know that the student senate body and our committee was perfectly fine, but we still felt the need to make sure that they knew that we were a law to have us as a committee, and all of these other committees, haha, you guys are so funny. But anyway, those particular items were, I think that was in the top 8, and it didn't make it to the top 4 or top 2. But they're going to make decisions at the next meeting, or they're talking about making decisions at the next meeting about student shared governance. So Demeyer Grady suggested that if for some reason the meeting conflicts, then we still need to send some student senate representatives because they're gonna make decisions potentially without us. Go ahead, Dave.
What is our official stance, I guess? What do you guys think should be our official stance?
What do you mean?
I think
Because
we-
I'm gonna be going.
Oh, it's the meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we need to make sure that we are keeping the maximum amount of shared governance as possible. So if they reduce it down to 4 committees is what we were hearing.
So this is one of the parts I wanted to talk about. One of the things I
But
brought up after probably about a year of hearing about this, well before this Senate, is this consistent conversation about restructuring it. And at this point, I'm just like, why? What is it that you're not happy with? I think we need to hear that.
Well, again, one of the things I saw, when I sent that stuff to you, VP Breeder, was the fact that there has been a lot of restructuring of how, these councils have been over time, even just within that 2012, which is as far back as I went, you could see the beginnings of things like the professional development, you could see, it would grow and it would even have more councils. I mean, but the idea with what shared governance really is based off of the fact that, with the issues that happened in 2010 with Scott Walker and their collective bargaining and the unions, shared governance is a way to be able to, the best way that Dr. Daniels felt when he came here from Lafayette Las Vegas, California, what was to introduce shared governance and say, this way we can try to have some sort of a way to talk, yes, we do have a union here, but it's not as as effective as it could be. And so having an actual shared governance system allowed for everyone who came into those meetings to have an equal say, and there would be no title and rank, and everyone had a voice. Well, I guess I'm saying you, Senator Clearwater, is it's nothing wrong for things to get restructured as long as the student voice on that is always being considered and thought about.
So that was another point that was brought up, is at this point, they would create so much conflict to do the staff senate, because then you're gonna have staff competing with each other and spending less time on students, like Kai brought up. It's just a bad idea all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what Sean just brought up. I've actually talked to a lot of the faculty over there, and Act 10 was a pretty big sort of topic of discussion. And right now, that's sort of the issue with the shared governance, is because they don't know for whose interest, I guess, because like there's a lot of conflicting interests, like they're coming at it through the eyes of the faculty, but we're coming through it the eyes of the students. But I guess like when I go over there, like, what do you guys think I should I be for the consolidation of committees, or should we have the same structure that we should?
Motion to suspend Robert's rules.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Everybody is in favor of suspending what we rule for the rest of the discussion again.
3, 4, 5.
Online?
We need 7. We need 2
Where's
more.
this?
Runners,
So we're at 7.
that's it, I'm good.
Perfect.
So, my thought is that, I do think that things get restructured and there's nothing we can do about that. But I think we need to make sure that we keep seats on each of those items that are restructured. I think that's crucial. Do we have 3 people on college assembly? Because that was the other thing they said in the meeting, is that we have 3. Who's the third
College
person?
assembly? No, it's just one.
Or, wait,
Danny.
Well,
No,
No, Joe Biden.
Oh,
but do we
wait.
have a third person?
Yeah, we're supposed to have more.
Seen you there.
We need a third person on it.
So they
to keep it
mentioned
going.
that we have 3, and are you guys all voting members?
Not, not that, I know those bylaws pretty well. There's a college assembly representative, then there was the student president representative. That's our Senate representation.
Yeah, this.
So change those bylaws.
I think they're more talking about Senate, but that's the
No,
one
they
we
said
have.
3 when we were at.
Oh,
the
yeah,
meeting.
I don't even need to do this. Motion to extend time. 2 minutes?
Well, we have
Robert's rules.
rules that have been suspended.
Suspended.
What, the
The
issue
time.
ran out.
Yeah, we are definitely over time.
Stuff over time.
Then, yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll give it to DP Crowder.
Do we want to re-motion for suspending again?
How long are you?
2 minutes, 3,
Do you think that'd be enough?
2, 3?
No,
I would-
No,
I would go 5.
why don't you dictate it, since you're the one on college assembly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do 5 minutes for everyone to.
Just extend the time for 5 minutes.
Okay, sure, let's go for it.
We need 7.
Anybody online?
Well,
Well, I
Maggie's
have to
not here,
suspend the rules
so
as well.
actually- I think you have to make it clear that, okay, we got the Brian.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. It's 7, 6, 5,
So 6.
6:14.
And then I'm not gonna stay for your thing afterwards.
No, that's fine. We might just postpone
Okay.
it. So all I was trying to say is that they, when we were at our meeting, they were saying that we had 3 students on it, and I didn't know how to get to the stuff quick enough to double check it or anything. I just assumed that they were correct.
I can
And
pull it
just,
up right now.
Yeah,
okay, just
appreciate
to
it.
iron through that, if for some reason you guys can't make it, or one of you can't make it, we still need to
When
send a
is it?
second person to the,
When is it?
I don't know when it is.
It's relatively soon.
Summer.
Yeah.
I can tell you when the.
Yeah.
He made a.
Oh, it's
point
on
of
Wednesday,
letting us
March
know.
13th. I have it right here.
That's why it's over spring break.
Wednesday, March 13th.
Oh, no, sorry, no,
I
wait.
think it's 20th.
My man was saying March 20th, my bad. They wanted
21st.
feedback.
Wait, no, I'm sorry, it is the 20th.
So like,
Yeah, 2:30.
I
so
guess,
are you guys then?
I guess my only thing would be with it is if you're restructuring that, it's fine, but if you're taking the voice away of the students,
Mhm.
I would not be for it.
So,
So
like-
if you're just looking at the ones that they have vacant under shared governance right now, if we can't give a voice to those in
Mhm.
student interests, I don't see the benefit to it.
Exactly why I actually argued that we keep DCRC. At one point over the summer, I had announced that that might be sunsetting. I actually argued against restructuring because of the fact it would take it away. And that is something that our voice is on, and we definitively keep a voice on. And that restructuring at that time looked like removing it. And there was a lot of people that were involved in that committee then and now who actively are just like, we're making a headways and we're trying to integrate those headways. And, then what are we gonna do afterwards? And then it just, all these actions dissolve.
So what if like, they do consolidate, but they allow students to, join in the councils? Would you guys be okay with it?
We want that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we want a voting voice.
Yes.
We don't want
Yes.
just to be able to speak our piece and have them decide.
That's not even speaking your piece.
Overall, we don't
You're
want
wanting-
them
you're
to
wanting
consolidate,
more.
right?
We can't, I don't think we can really stop them from consolidating.
No, yes, we can, Danny, you're getting your fire.
You're wanting more than student input. basically.
Yeah, I'll say that you guys are, if you guys are against consolidation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say that's-
Honestly.
Okay.
Well, what can you explain? Because I don't even know what they're trying to consolidate.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
There,
they want to consolidate, I see, if I had my phone, they have like
Let
four.
me give you the background.
Okay.
The background is
Drop it on.
we made and we were like, everybody have, come up with a subject.
Mhm.
And they were putting like, like some, subcategory and everybody like, we have like like a group working on. And everybody brings something, like they have, we have more people on shared governance? Do we have a representative, like, do they have like the same way we have a Senate for student, can they have a Senate for faculty and all of that? Now, they were like, they have an in-person one, I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And they have a second one where it was like we were doing like,
It was just added on. They told us. that
it
just
was the
added on.
Wednesday, like I have like, executive council, I couldn't make it. But the decision, like, for this two last meeting, I wasn't there, I don't know how far they go, but before it was like, we were like, oh, I can say that, we're like, I forget the word, but we were working on, multiple subjects. It's not like they wanna change their governance, it's not like they wanna, take away like student senate or anything. It was just like, how can we make it's more, inclusive or have more student in there? Because like, let's say most of shared governance, like as example, Student Affairs Council I was representative last year. We have a representative from PTK, we have a representative from Student Senate, we have a representative like as a student in general. Like they have scale of governance where you see like 5 or 6 students
Mhm.
in there. And they have others where it's like, it's maybe 2 or 3. It's just like it's like my
But
understanding.
how does restructuring fix that? That sounds like you're just not getting people.
I feel like they have,
No, it's because like they just don't want to have so many different, councils to create a policy, basically. They wanted just to have like,
Yeah, they basically want to streamline.
streamlining. It's more about streamlining.
I don't think that's doing it, because certain councils are gonna get eliminated from that, like, how is IT gonna fit into the discussion of administration and finance? I feel like they're losing out these specific subjects,
Yep.
like diversity, like IT, like finance is gonna be fine. because that's-
I think we reached the,
And
So
we'll
say it's
extend the time by
indefinite?
5 more minutes.
Sure.
Second.
Yeah.
everybody's in favor of extending it to 5 more minutes, raise your hand. And then after 30, if someone wanna leave, it's not gonna come.
Yeah.
I love it.
The runners went on.
Okay.
6:19
Okay, now it's
or 6:20, yeah, 6:20 now.
Now, it will make sense. It will make sense. They have, let's say, textbook affordability and academic council. They are pretty much like doing the same thing, right? They have council, or they have like stuff we could just be, merged together. Because now, when you look at it, you look at it about the presentation. Now look at it in the student perspective. If I am on this council, and I have to be there, like, let's say, it takes time for me. What is your first goal in school? School. But if you are being involved in every stuff, and they are like pretty much like almost the same thing, I understand that part of like trying to, merge some of them, because some of them are just like statement, like, textbook affordability. We already passed the referendum, like it's like they have something to add more to it. Yeah, you can move to academic council. They have other stuff, that's it's not like they wanna can send it, it's not, they cannot, even if they try, they cannot. We are in the student, like a Wisconsin state law, they cannot.
38.145.
I don't think that was really conveyed that they were trying to get rid of the Senate, but overstepping it, that was.
But it's essentially removing it. If you're gonna make a faculty senate, then you're
Exactly.
essentially overpowering the
Yeah.
entire being or the reason for senate existing.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were going to try and vote without student representation there really bothered me.
Yeah.
So
Thankfully,
thank
Dr. Grady
goodness
was
for
there
Dr. Grady
because-
And
yeah.
Ellie, I talked to Ellie and Ellie said she made sure she got the last word in
Good.
on that.
That's not the first time she's done that. She has done some pretty heroic things before.
But here's the thing, can you imagine, like, if we didn't have an active student senate like we do now, like one
Yes.
year, like, what if you have a bunch of new people come in and they don't know about these things, and then basically it gets taken away all because they aren't like rooted in student senate?
Yeah, but like one of the concerns that they also mentioned was because each time like a new student senate comes in, now they have to get retrained all the time, and a lot of people are.
So-
Yes, so what? We're a two-year technical college, that's on them.
That's part of the process.
We were working on just reevaluating our education, because Sean and I have
Yeah,
actually
and I
had
tell you
a.
guys that forever, that if you don't hold up your ground, they will take it from you. Did I not make that very
You did.
clear,
Yeah.
what would happen?
I'm about to go attack.
So that's why I'm just saying, it doesn't matter what they say, you gotta continue to push, you gotta push stronger than they can push back at you.
So does this change your mind on updating our educational module for new senators?
No, I think it's stuff.
Oh, no, this is a personal
Oh,
question.
No, I'm
You guys agree?
When you,
I know what you were
what do you
doing.
mean?
Because we've.
It's the issue is the more you know, the better off you're gonna be able to
Yes.
fight it.
So when we have new
So-
senators that can't, like Senator Angela coming in midway through the year and everything, losing out a lot of prior conversations and everything. Conversations that, we need to make sure that they know where to go with the updated stuff, like we just moved around things today. So where they're gonna find the videos to update these things.
Yeah.
We need to make the module a little better so that we can help people navigate, so we can close that barrier a little bit for people who don't join when they're going through the original elective process.
Definitely.
So on March 20th, I'll just say that the student senate wants whatever consolidation or creation of new committees. Student senate wants student senate representatives with voting power.
Yes,
But also we oppose.
See what Ellie is thinking, because
Yeah.
Ellie's gonna be thinking the student mind, so.
Yeah.
I do not want.
And then we're opposed to it.
yeah, I'm generally opposed, but I'll accept some
I'll
mediation.
try to come there, I can work remotely with my computer. I'll be like, hold up. I need to say something to this college assembly meeting. One moment for this meeting.
And I do feel like if they're going to consolidate, that we need to make sure we have two positions on each of these consolidated.
Yeah, it
committees,
needs to
because
be
there's probably
equal.
gonna be subcommittees that are gonna come out of them.
Sorry, wait, amendment, at least.
Yes,
Yes.
at least.
Ooh.
But they need to be equal. I
Okay,
think that's very
now
important.
it's time.
Okay.
We have to think about that. Facilities Planning and Investment Council, Senator Willis.
We're not even through.
That was an alarming one.
Willis is not there. Okay, finance council, Mr. Brito.
No report.
Thank you. Information technology currently vacant, but soon,
It's not vacant, but it just needs to be, that needs to be updated.
yeah, sorry,
What is not vacant?
Yeah, make a motion to.
Oh,
I did.
right, we did not.
Is it affecting the council, Senator Castle?
You had to leave.
That way.
You had to leave. Yeah, excuse.
Plenary Fair Council currently vacant, unfinished business, new business, non-business, housekeeping, call for communication personnel. Please, we need someone. We need someone, please.
Call for the director of external affairs.
Announcement, our next meeting will be on Thursday, March 21st. That's no meeting next week and no office hours. Everybody enjoy your spring break. Senate member.
We're gonna postpone that till next week.
Yeah.
we still have time.
I mean, I don't think emotionally we're really in a place to be doing that anymore.
That's why I wanted to be part of the actual.
Yeah, I think that should be moved somewhere else.
Now. Another announcement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was waiting, but I didn't make the motion yet.
Oh, wait.
No, she hasn't
What
made it yet.
motion is that?
Motion adjourned.
No.
No, I had an announcement. What was it? Oh, crap.
Did you get called on?
Who? Not yet. This.
Motion to adjourn. Sorry.
Any discussion?
Dang, I had a question at work.
Everybody was not in favor of adjourning this hearing.
We're listening.
So, I'm here.
Everybody was in.
Hey, who wasn't in
Do
favor?
not raise your hand if you want to adjourn.
Everybody was in favor.
We're
of
voting by
adjourning this
consensus.
hearing.
You said what? Repeat
What
that.
did you say?
Everybody was in favor of adjourning. We're going ahead.
Now you want us to raise.
Now raise your hand.
Yeah. You listen closely.
Stand up and the front.
I think somebody just laughed too. They were.
Meeting at 6:22.
Perfect.
Everybody, yours, guys.
Additionally,
Everyone.
we did not.